Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to listen up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
And just like that, the UConn Huskies, Ryan, are the Big East champions. It's Phil and Rye on Listen Up. And Rye, what, for the 12th time now, 12th year in a row, the UConn Huskies are Big East champions yet again. Congratulations to KK Arnold, Jana Al-Alfie, Ashlyn Shade, Paige Bueckers. The list goes on and on and on. And again, your UConn Huskies, that's right, are Big East champions. Ryan, what did you like? And I don't actually like that light right in my face. So let me fix that. I should have fixed that before you started recording. What do you like and don't like about this game? And obviously, this is a big night for you and I because this is it. We get to talk about a game that, yeah, they won the conference, but around UConn, we all know they're probably not like, like getting drunk tonight or, like you do off of Jack Daniels sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody said that. But anyway, little celebration, but Jana Al-Alfie got off to a great start tonight under the basket. I think you talk about Paige Bueckers, Ryan. How about Jana Al-Alfie getting primed for March Madness? I mean, I think she's in full gear, and I think that's going to not only Sarah Strong, but again, Strong can't do it all. We don't expect her to. She's a freshman. But Jana Al-Alfie, oh my, Ryan. I mean, she's really turned it up with them moves she makes under the basket, right? Paige Bueckers led in scoring tonight again. Obviously, we talked about it last night. She looks primed for a nice March Madness run. And Ryan, the UConn Huskies all over Creighton. Again, I want to hear what you had to say about this game, but more importantly, I think me and everybody else, hopefully they agree with me, you you got some stuff to say about what's to come this week because oh my, I don't know if I'll be sleeping a lot to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's gonna get really excited on Sunday when the selection show time is finally here. Maybe we'll have an episode this week about the tournament, try to break down some of the seedings. But yeah, for the game tonight, obviously, UConn's 12th straight conference championship, fifth straight Big East title, I believe now. But I really like the fast start they got off to, 11-0 run right out of the gates. I mean, three nights in a row, sold out crowd at the Mohegan Sun. So, the fans coming out like they did the whole regular season. So that was nice to see. But everything seemed to be clicking on offense and defense. They were making their 3-point attempts and forcing Creighton to turn the ball over. And UConn was 8 of 15 from deep in the first half. In yesterday's semifinal, they were just 8 of 20 for the whole game. Now, they did struggle a little bit in the second half on the threes, but that was definitely something that I'd like to see during the first half of play tonight. But the thing I liked the most was the ball movement on offense, possibly one of the best
Ooh.
performances we've seen the whole entire season in terms of passing the ball around. But this is another interesting stat that I saw. The Huskies had 11 turnovers in the first half. The past two games, the quarterfinal and semifinal, they only combined for 12 over those last two games. But despite that, the shots were still obviously falling for them, and the defense was stopping the Blue Jays from getting any type of momentum, which was huge to keep that UConn Husky lead. But the big three really stepped up tonight for UConn. Paige Bueckers, like you mentioned, led in scoring, scored 20 plus points for the third straight game. Love to see that out of her. Sarah Strong cemented her third straight double double. She also tied her career high with 6 steals tonight. Very impressive stuff from the freshman. AZ Fudd scored 13, double digits again for her, and was 3 of 8 from downtown. So pretty efficient shooting for AZ. And KK Arnold had a great game tonight off the bench. Great defense all the way around for UConn. Offense was a little up and down tonight, like I mentioned, the second half with the 3-point attempts. Turnovers definitely something to clean up throughout this week as they prepare for the tournament. But like I said, 12 straight conference title in front of another sold out crowd. So not much else you can ask for if you're the Husky Nation tonight.
What's your take? We're like, here we go with Phil trying to talk about basketball, in my terms, Ryan. What's your take on this very quickly? And then I'll move forward to comments. When you talk about the UConn Huskies this year, what I've seen so far, ever since we went up to UConn and back in December, what was it? December, right before Christmas, when they lost to
Yeah.
USC. Uh, what's your take on? I find it again, never been a coach, never been a player, but I find it very interesting. Now, maybe I shouldn't leak too much information, right? You got to keep it secret with the March Madness tournament coming right around the corner. They have a certain type of offense that I've been seeing. I try to watch them as much as I can. They pass it off to the left behind the 3-point arc. If it's not there, they pass it back to the key, pass it off to the right, maybe. Do you see a certain kind of offense, mind you, that is starting to revolve around, obviously, around Paige Bueckers specifically when she's in the game, trying to get her open? Because again, it seems like to me she's pulling up a lot more than what I've seen when the season started. And maybe it's just me, but I'm just saying, again, it seems like the same pattern on offense over and over again when they bring the ball up. It's working. It's working so far, right? It's working, but a lot of passing before they make a layup, a 3-point attempt. And again, do you think it has anything to do with getting that ball in Becker's hands? Because again, if you ask me, I'm not jumping off the train. No way. I mean, we're at March 10th. If anything, no Paige Beckers, no national title. That's still my opinion. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I think I would definitely agree with that. I mean, that's how their offense has been the whole entire year. You know, as soon as the first game of the regular season, we really saw it out of Kaylin Chen and the chemistry that she had right away with the team. And I mean, that's been the way it has been with the whole entire team this year. In terms of the chemistry, I mean, the passing numbers, some of the best in the country. Talk about assists, some of the best in the country as well for the whole team total. So that's been a really nice thing to watch throughout the
Mm.
season. Just them passing the ball around, setting screens. I know they run a lot of different plays for every single game, but like I mentioned in the quarterfinals, sometimes it seems like they pass it a little bit too much. And I think I'd like the last two games, Paige being a little bit more aggressive at some points, taking it into her own hands, creating her own shots to score. So I really like to see that out of Paige. Hopefully she continues during the tournament. But we've seen this throughout her whole career, I think, for Paige. It's a different level when it comes to the postseason time. As soon as the calendar flips to March, I think there's a switch that flips in her that she plays a little bit more aggressive. She just amps up that level a little bit more, and hopefully we see that continue throughout the whole team as well.
All right, Ryan, I appreciate you a lot. Let's go over to comments. 68 Cougar said this is going to be a tough one. The Blue Jays will be coming in all fired up with a kill Huskies attitude. If the girls put two good halves together, they'll be fine. If not, it'll be close. Creighton is playing their best ball of the season right now. Hey, guys, no score predictions? Oh, Ryan, again, like I mentioned, jumped out to that 11-0 start, and I don't think, no, they never looked back.
No, like I mentioned, the defense was really on point for the Huskies tonight. Creighton's really struggled in the past two games as well. So all three games now with their 3-point shooting against UConn. So that's really hurt them, but especially from tonight. But Creighton, another great season out of them. I talked about in the last two matchups, their experience. So I mean, they might be a tough team in March. They'll probably be an 8 or 9 seed in the tournament, so might be a team to look out for. But Creighton, great season, but UConn obviously getting the best out from them again here tonight.
This warms my heart, and this goes to show the real ones, right? I mean, everybody's real, but the real ones that come through and listen up a lot. Victor, I'm sorry, not Victor. CJ said, "What happened to predictions?" Ryan, you have to warn them. Now you have to tell them how the schedule was for the Big East Conference for the tournament. But hey, you have to remind them, man, what a big prediction this will be on Sunday night. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, I promise for tournament time when we get that first round matchup that we're gonna do game predictions for all the March Madness games. So, yeah, sorry about not predicting them for the Big East tournament, but I promise they'll be back and ready to go for our predictions for the March Madness tournament games.
All right, one more, Ryan. UConn Nation said it's simple. When the score was close, Paige took over. Then once we were up by 15 plus, she stopped shooting as much. Oh, that's interesting. That goes, I promise I didn't look. That goes to the statement I just made to you earlier. It's certain kind of offense. When UConn is, you know, kind of in danger, right? It's just certain kind of offense that picks up. When they get that lead, back off. Not back off, but you know what I mean. Don't back off, Ryan. Please don't back off on me in the next few weeks. I will be a nervous wreck.
No, but yeah, no, it's a very good point about Paige. Yeah, it's kind of just been her game for her whole career. Obviously, she doesn't take 30 shots per night. It's something that separates her from a lot of players, like Caitlin Clark, like Juju Watkins now, who take 25 to 30 shots per game. Paige very rarely takes over 20 shots on any given night. So, it's really for Paige about making sure her teammates are involved. But when the game does get close at times, we'll see her kind of take over, create her own shots, and help the team. How we know that, and we've seen her do throughout her whole career. When it's time for her to kind of take over and take the game into her own hands.
Yeah, one more, Ryan. Just me said the hits keep coming for Listen Up. We appreciate it. Thanks for another excellent update. I agree with the disruptive one about Aubrey. UConn needs her on the floor in March Madness. She brings a dynamic element that many teams can't prepare for. She is very valuable. Good matchup coming tonight against Creighton. Let's hope Gino spreads more positive vibes to his players. UConn is best when they are relaxed. UConn should win by at least 15 points. And one more thing, Ryan, to add to that, I think that we're not talking about it enough. Who would you still rather have on the side, right, in charge, other than the great Gino? I wouldn't pick anybody else. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dawn Staley. I just won't do it.
No, there's yeah, there's not too many other people that you want by your side coaching your team, that's for sure. Yeah, we don't really talk about them too much because it's just kind of, at this point everybody knows what to expect out of Gino. He's been doing it for so long, so you kind of know what you're gonna get. But Gino always has these women ready to play, hard practices throughout the whole year to get them ready for these moments. So, I'd say they look pretty relaxed tonight. Like I said, kind of up and down moments on offense, but I think overall, pretty good game. And hopefully we get Aubrey Griffin back for their first round matchup in March Madness.
Hey, so I have to shout out to Morgan Valley on this one. Ryan, I just learned literally just now. I searched Morgan Valley's name right on Google for everybody who wants to know. And our interview with Morgan Valley came up on her profile at the top of the page. So I know that makes Ryan smile and that makes me smile. Again, blessed for everyone. And that's not necessarily because, of Ryan and I. That's because of Morgan Valley and the UConn Nation and everybody who comes through on this podcast. So again, much love and support. We love you all. We appreciate you all. Like, comment, and subscribe. Ryan, and again, I shout out to Gino. How about I'm not too sure if you want to break the news. No, I'm just kidding. There's no breaking news, but Morgan Valley, you said it many times. You believe she can be a head coach one of these days, whether it's in UConn or somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely has the coaching experience to do it, and like we talked about in the interview with some of the players that she's been able to be the assistant coach for, like Kelsey Plum and players like that on multiple different teams. So she definitely has the experience. Great coach. Talk about having Gino on the sidelines. Morgan Valley, I'm sure provides a lot of insight throughout the whole entire game. Always see her sitting next to Gino talking about strategy, I'm sure, and all that stuff throughout the game.
Well, you have to remember she did. Valley spent 2 seasons as the head coach at Hartford,
Yeah.
Ryan, like she told us. So she has that experience already. All right, Ryan, I will let you go, and we will leave it at that. Again, Ryan, final score 70-50. Connecticut over Creighton for the Big East title, 12th year in a row. Ryan, this is a big week. But again, we can't forget, this is all leading up to Selection Sunday, March 16th on ESPN, 8 o'clock. Who will the UConn Huskies play next?